Hello everyone, welcome back to Coding Ninja's YouTube channel. I am Vikrant and today we are going to see how we can get into start any startup basically. For example, like if you want to get into Uber, Zomato, Ola and any startup, then what is the basic strategy to get into that startup? So just if someone can let me know if I'm audible or not, or I can check that. Anyone can type in the chat if I'm audible. Or I can check that. Yes, I am audible. That's great. So, we are going to make a simple strategy for all these things. Nothing complicated, nothing, out of our bounds. We'll be clearing all your doubts. I'll be clearing all your doubts. And you can type your all your questions in the chat and I'll be answering your questions one by one. After I have explained some topic, then I can come back to your question. Kindly bear with me today. My voice is not so okay, so I'll try my best to be audible. And if you have any problems, you can type in the chat. So welcome back again, all of you guys. So today's topic is what should be our strategy to get into any startup. So we'll be learning that. My name is Vikrant Verma. I have done my engineering from BIET Jhansi, and you know in my final year I got placed in Wipro, I got placed in Accenture, I got placed in TCS, and after consideration now I am working in TCS at a digital role. So we'll all be seeing what should be our strategy, so we can begin. I think you can type all your questions in the chat, and also please press the like button also. So let me just share my screen. I have made a simple strategy so that we can easily relate to it. So let me just share my screen. So I am hoping that you can see my screen. Let me just check. So yes, that's great. You all can see my screen. So we all know that getting into startups is a bit difficult, because at times we may not find, just let's just talk about for startups for a second. I can share the screen again. We all find, a bit difficult to get into startups because we don't know how to apply to these startups, because we have to the starting point is to apply, and we don't even know because they don't have a fixed hiring procedure. For example, in TCS, they conduct all the hiring process through NQT majorly, so we know, we wait for that paper. There is code vita also. For Infosys, there is also a coding contest from which they hire. So, you know, all the big major companies, we know how they hire. But in startups, the basic problem that we face in getting into startups is that how we can even apply. So we'll be covering that also. We'll be covering what are the basic topics that they ask from. Some people tell us that getting into startups is very easy. It's a piece of cake. So obviously it's not a piece of cake, otherwise everyone will be doing it. So this is something different. So we'll be seeing what should be our strategy, how should we even learn, or how should we even progress our journey so that it will be easier for us. In if you are in college, how we can get into startups by the time we are in the final year. Even after the final year, if you are preparing for company switch, or get into different company. So these strategies matter a lot. We'll be covering that also, and I'll be giving you a few tips. you know in my case also, I have learned many things from my case, and I have talked to many of the people, similar to every situation, that when people don't get placed, or they want to switch companies. So what are they feeling, how are they learning things, and if someone is successful, then what was their strategy. So I have talked to many people, I have read a lot of interviews, so I'll be sharing all that with you. So these will be our general things that we'll be covering today. So I think we can start. Now let me share the screen. Just one second. Yes. So I am hoping that you all can see my screen. Yes. So, before even talking about startups, first we should even, consider why should we even bother to join startups. So I have made three clear points from which startups, are great. The first point is money, obviously. We have heard a lot of people from LinkedIn and from friends of friends that someone is placed in Uber at 50 lpa, someone is placed at Ola at 60 lpa. These things are very very common in startups these days, and you also know that because of the pandemic there is a huge boom in the vacancies in the startups as well. There are number of startups coming every day in India as well and all over the world. So they are in the dire need of the talent, so they give huge amount of money to the people. Also they have their employee count is very less, so they hire very talented people that can do tasks of 2 to 3 people at least. So they give a huge amount of money to them to keep them motivated, and we all know that money is a huge motivation to get into this field. If you like technology, then it is very great, but most of us are here for the money, because we all know that money is essential, right? It keeps us motivated, it keeps us wanting to learn more. So it is a very huge and a plus point to join startups. The second point is work culture. The work culture in startups is great because you will be working with the founding members and all the top officials, and they have a vision, and all of them have a great vision when they are starting something. So they invest a lot of time in see in preparing the company, in preparing the work culture. So you will find the great work culture. If you are talking with someone, everybody will be professional, everybody will be understanding to your situation. If you encounter any problem, they'll be happy to sort it out, help you out. So the work culture is great in startups. The third point is career growth. As I told you, that in startups, all of the startups, the employee count is very less. So they hire people that can do at least 2 to 3 people's work. Now when you are doing these works, initially it will be harder. In the initial years, you'll find harder to get just try to upskilling yourself, just keep on learning new things. But after you have given 2 to 3 years or a certain period of time, your career growth will be exponential. If you want to switch company after a startup, it will be a piece of cake. Everybody will be wanted to hire you. So your career wise, startups will be a huge boost to your career. It is very great if you want to join startup. So these are the three major things that why you should even bother to join startups. I hope all these things are clear. If you have any questions, I will be answering after I have talked about recruitment process, because this is the major thing that we will be covering today. So just let me talk about this recruitment process, and then I'll be coming to your questions, and then we can finish the last points. Now the recruitment process. As I told you that we find it difficult to even apply, and when we are applying, we don't hear from them. We don't get any reply. So these things are very difficult. So I have written down some things. The first thing is resume shortlisting. When you will be applying to these companies, you will be obviously sending your resume, and then you will be getting the mail or the reply from them to get the interview scheduled or the coding round scheduled. So all of this work in this manner only. So when you are giving your resume, what are the three basic things that they see? Let's just see. First, when you are when you are applying for a company or a startup, you may find the openings at LinkedIn, because the founding members or the the employee count is very less, so they usually are active on LinkedIn, and they keep on posting on LinkedIn or any social media sites. You can just follow them. You can easily find the founding members or the people who are working there. You can just connect to them, and you can just send them a message or a mail, not just a random DM, a professional DM or a professional mail, so that if there is any vacancies, or you know they'll keep you in mind. So in startups don't come to you. You have to go to the startup because vacancies are less. So you can find them on LinkedIn, or you can go to their sites, and you can go to their career sections, or all of them have the career section, and you can apply through them. So this is the basic thing, and this will work. And if this don't work, just keep on applying, because they will reply. It is just a matter of time. So you'll be sending your resume. If your resume is not worth seeing, or worth not worth replying, they'll just cancel you out right there and there. So to get your resume shortlisted, the you know first thing that you should acquire is a referral. As I told you, the employee count is very less. So when you get a referral from these less number of employees, your resume gets a huge boost for the company, because someone is there who is boosting for you, that this guy can really help in this company. You should go for it. So referral helps a lot in this way. You can ask for referrals from any of the person, and basically persons, many people give referrals very easily. Otherwise, they'll be asking you for your resume, that what are your skills, even if I should bother giving you referral. So they'll also be asking you for your resume. You can send them a mail, so it will be very good. And basically most people will give you referral if you just connect to them, and if you are kind enough. So when you get referral, you just apply to them. Now you should have something written down on your resume that should be worth replying. The two things that counts is you should be good in coding, and you should have a extra skill. I'll be talking about that extra skill later, in detail in this lecture. So we'll be seeing. Now, what do I mean by good in coding? Good in coding means when you can just write, I am good in coding, or what are your skills in coding. Just you can write just coding. But how will they know that you are even telling the truth about your coding? So for that, you should practice a lot. For example, if you are practicing a lot and you have good ratings on different platforms, you can just write down on your resume. It will give a huge boost to your resume. If you are 4 star, 5 star, or if you have done exceptionally well in some contest, you can write down that as well. If I have got under 200 rank, when there are thousands of people applying in a contest, giving a contest, and you have got less than 2000 rank or 200 rank, whatever you think is very good on your resume, just write that down. They need coding, right? Coding is the basic part that you will be facing to get into these companies. So just master that topic and make a resume around it. Now when I talk about extra skill, what do I mean by that? As I told you, that they need people that can do multiple tasks. So if you are just good in coding, that might not be enough. You should be able to do one extra work for them. If you are good in coding, that's very great. But you can do app development, you can do web development, you can do machine learning. There are so many things available in the market that you can easily learn and master. So they need one extra skill. And when you acquire that one extra skill, just put down that you're on your resume in bold letters. It will also give a huge boost. If you have 65%, 70%, 60%, it doesn't matter a lot. If you have even 90%, they will be not replying you if you have 70% or 90%. These don't matter much. Your skills matter. So make your resume around it. So you should have these three things in your resume, at least: your referral, your your coding ratings, or anything related to it. If you have done exceptionally well in some contest, or even if you are doing well in some platform, and the extra skill that you have acquired, or while you are preparing for this. So these three things will help you a lot. So this was about resume shortlisting. Many people don't get reply because they have one or more thing missing from these 3 points. Just consider these 3 points as your main points, and just make a resume around it, and it will be great. Now, recruitment process, I am hoping, I am assuming that you have applied to that company, you have sent your resume, and they have replied to your you know application. Now they'll send you a coding link, a coding contest link. So you will be solving the questions in that round. In this round, you'll be facing 2 to 4 questions. I have read many of the interviews. I have, seen a lot of interviews, videos, and talked to many people. And I am just talking about general thing, that you will be facing 2 to 4 questions. And the time limit allocated to you will be around 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. So you have to solve these number of questions in a particular time frame. And when I talk about the difficulty level of these questions, most of the people told me, and I learned from reading, that they are generally from the medium level. Maybe you will find one question hard, but the majority of the questions are from medium level. So the coding round is not that difficult if you have just prepared enough. If you have covered all the topics, then you can easily clear coding rounds. Not easily, obviously it's not easy. If you have given enough time, then it will be easy. Also, when I talk to some of the people, there is one other round also before the coding rounds, or with the coding round. Suppose you have a 2 hour paper. 1 hour will be allocated to coding round, and 1 hour will be allocated to your aptitude rounds, or to your core subjects round, or the mix of it. So you will be facing all these things, but obviously you'll be facing coding rounds. That's why I put it here. But we'll be talking about aptitude and puzzles after that, and the core subjects. But do prepare for it, because they also ask in the first round as well. You may find the core subjects question, you know, and the coding questions and the aptitude questions as well. So these were some of the basic things that you will be finding in the recruitment process in the coding rounds. Obviously, you'll be having coding rounds, so be prepared for it. Now, the third thing that I have seen many companies doing is the group discussion. Obviously, when they want to hire very less number of people, if they want to hire only 50 people, and even thousands of people are applying, and if thousands of people have cleared the coding rounds, so how will they shortlist those students into further categories? It is not much very possible to have interview with all of them. That's why they have group discussion, because they eliminate most of the people from here. Now in group discussion, the basic thing that they'll be seeing is your confidence and your speaking skills, and a little bit of knowledge. The group discussion topic will not be very difficult. It will be very easy. All of you can, talk about it. But it's just, if even you can talk about it, and with what confidence. Suppose everybody says that you should talk in English, and basically yes, because you will be finding people from all backgrounds. So if you want to speak in Hindi, it might be a negative point. So in startups, go for English. Otherwise, if you're not, if you know that you can't do anything at all in English, then go for Hindi. It's a lose-lose situation, or it's a win-win situation. Just don't matter it much. Also, if you know that there is a group discussion round coming around the corner, and you have months to prepare for it, then you can also prepare for group discussion. You can just join the groups, and you can just talk to the people in English. Just have a discussion with anybody around any topic, and it will greatly help you. In group discussion, or you will be divided into 5 to 7 people generally. So they'll give you a topic, and then they'll give you around 1 or 2 minutes to think around the topic. Usually these things happen this way only all over the world. Now when they say that your 1 minute or 2 minute is up, start discussing. The major point of group discussion is not coming to a conclusion. You just have to discuss around the topic. You can discuss the pros, you can discuss the cons as well, you can talk about anything. You don't have to stick to only pros. If I agree to that topic, I might even oppose that topic later on. It's just about discussion and just putting your thoughts in front of the panel. This is the whole point of group discussion. So you know don't hold back, just speak whatever comes to your mind and just make a valid point. Because when you have 5 to 7 people, you all know that how group discussion goes. Everyone starts speaking, and it just very like a busy market. Everybody knows this. So you have to come across as a you know great personality. So how you can do that? Just think in that 1 or 2 minutes, what are the basic points, what are the valid points that are very great to this particular topic. Just keep them in your mind, just store them, make 4 or 5 points, and just make sure when you are talking about these 4 or 5 points, you should be loud and clear. You have to wait your turn. Obviously they'll not be asking you, you speak. You have to wait your turn. When someone is speaking, you might have to interrupt them. And when you are interrupting them, don't stop. Just just keep on saying your whole point, and then try to explain or the heading that you have just said. The group discussion goes only this way. You have to interrupt someone, and when they say that 1 or 2 minutes is up, now start discussing. Be the first one to speak. It will be great. And even if you are not the first one to speak, be ready to speak second or third, and be ready to at least speak. They'll not come to you and give you the mic that you didn't speak, now speak. It will not be like that. You have to fight for your chance. So group discussion, many people find this very difficult, but after 1 or 2 group mock group discussions, you'll be very great. You'll know that what you have to do. And one more thing, very important point in group discussion: don't ever do that. It's a big no. Don't ever raise your voice. Don't ever raise your voice. When you are shouting, everybody knows that you are shouting. You are trying to come across, you are trying to get the attention, and that is a negative attention. When you are shouting, you can raise your voice a little bit when you are starting when you just started speaking, but then keep a one second. Keep a normal tone when you are speaking your points, because this will come across you are very relaxed and you are very comfortable in this situation. Because obviously group discussion is not a piece of cake. So when you come across this is very easy and calm, it will be very good for you. So these were some of the basic points that you should keep in mind when you are giving group discussions. Now after you have cleared this group discussion, I am assuming that you have cleared your first round, and if you have encountered group discussion, you have cleared that as well. Then you'll be encountering technical rounds, and in majority of the startups you will be facing multiple technical rounds, at least two. In some cases there is four even. I was talking to a Uber guy who is based in Uber. He told me that he faced four technical interview rounds. So be prepared for it. Be mentally prepared for it that you will be having multiple technical rounds. Be prepared for at least two. This is very common. Now I have written down some of the basic things that what they'll be covering in this technical round. Obviously, when you'll be having technical rounds, they'll ask you questions around coding. This is obviously must. It is going to be there. They'll ask you to write code. Be prepared for it. Now when they ask you to write code, just listen to their questions very well, very clearly. And if you have any questions regarding the regarding the question statement, just ask them then and there. Don't just think for a minute and ask them, what did you say? Should I have to do this or do I have to do this? Don't be like that. It will come across that you are not attentive enough. So when they are putting forward the question statement, be very careful. And you can also write the problem statements, that these are the major things that I'll have to do in the code. Just think around for the around the question statement a minute or 2 or 3 minutes or five, even 5 minutes, but don't take much longer than that. Just thinking. Now when you are thinking, you can also start speaking. Whatever you are thinking, just speak. Not to the interviewer, just speak your thoughts. Because interviewer will get bored if you are not speaking in 10 minutes. He'll not know even if you are on the right track or not. So when you are putting down your thoughts or speaking down your thoughts, they'll know that on which path you are going. What if you encounter a problem, how do you counter that? They basically judge you on your problem solving skills. So they'll be seeing you that how you are thinking about this problem. So speak out, speak your thoughts. And even if you are on the completely wrong track, they'll stop you that no, no, you are going wrong, in the wrong direction. They'll save they'll save your time. Then you can think in the other direction as well. They'll also give you hint. They'll also help you. So for all these things to happen, you have to talk, you have to communicate your thoughts to the interviewer. So be prepared to communicate when you are thinking about the solution. Now when you know the approach, you know how to write the code, then you can write down the code on a piece of paper on a laptop. Also, there are some things that you should keep in mind when you are writing the code. First thing, write a clean code. And what do I mean by clean code? Don't take any variable like x, a, b, c. It will not be very good, because if you are in the company, you should be able to write a clean code, so that even if the other person is seeing your code, he should know that what this variable is even doing. So try to write your clean codes, practice writing clean codes. It will greatly help you. Now when they see that this person is writing in clean codes, they'll be very impressed then and there also. First thing, write down clean codes. When you think you you have wrote down your solution, just check for the bugs and errors, because they are waiting for you to make a mistake. They'll find even a slightest bug or error. you know just check your solution before presenting it to them. If there is any bug or error in it, be prepared for it. So this will also help you. Now these were some of the common things that they'll be asking, and you should keep in mind while you are countering all these coding questions. They may ask one or two coding questions, not generally, not more than that. Now in the technical interview, these things were about the coding part. Now they'll also ask you about the core subjects. Now the four subjects I have written down, be prepared for them, be a master. Because also prepare the basics very well. It doesn't have to be they'll ask you a very hard question, they can even ask you a very basic question. So be prepared for it. DBMS, OOPS, DA, and DSA. These are the four basic subjects that you should master upon. So just prepare them. You can if you think you can read about all these subjects, then read from a book or from online. There are so many resources available, free resources available to you. There are so many good lectures available on YouTube on all these topics. Be prepared for it. Now the other part of the technical interview is the development part. Now you remember the extra skill that I was talking about? This was the thing. If you obviously you will have to be good in coding, but after that you should be able to do a one extra thing like web development, app development, machine learning. So they'll be asking you questions around that. So be prepared for it. And they generally don't ask you questions that in this language what you'll do, how you'll do this or how you do that. They'll ask you for your project, that what project have you made on this topic. If you are saying that I have done app development, I am good at app development, they'll ask you what app you have made. So you will be showing them your project, and it will be very good if you have deployed that project, if that project is live, because then they know that you have really worked harder on that project, and you have handled enough edge cases to make it even deploy, to make it even live. So they'll be very impressed, and they'll be generally asking you questions around that project, that what are the technologies you used, how much time you took, what are the problems you faced, and how did you do this, how did you do this. It will be like that. So when you prepare a project, prepare it well, because they'll be asking you around it. In startups, obviously they'll ask you. So be prepared for it. Now comes the HR interview. Now, in some of the cases, when I have talked to some people, or when I have read about some interviews, many people say that their HR interview also went as a technical interview round. So it can also happen like that. Be prepared for it. But generally, HR interview is very easy. They generally ask you very basic questions, like tell me about yourself. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why do you want to join this company? Suppose if you want to apply in Ola, then they'll ask you why do you want to join Ola or Uber or Zomato or Swiggy and anything. So be prepared for it. Research about that company you are applying to, you are having interview, because obviously they'll ask you questions around that company. You should know how that company started, what are the basic problems they are facing, if you can find that out. And you can also search the solutions for those problems as well. They'll be very impressed that this person is very keen to join our organization and will be very helpful towards our cause. So you can just research about all these things. And they'll also ask you why you want to, what do you want to achieve here. So be prepared for all the basic HR questions, and it will be very easy because these are all the general questions. Now let's take some, sorry, now take some questions. Yes, yes, yes. I'm audible. Hello, hello. Yes, I'm audible. Bhaiya, I am a user but not good in DSA. Can I get placed in good companies? If you're not in good, if you're not good in DSAs, you have so much time left to be good in it. Just start learning. If you give 2 to 3 months, and I am not saying that you should give 12 hours every day to 2 to 3 months. Even if you are giving 6 to 7 hours to DSA, you'll master DSA in 2 to 3 months. You'll be able to cover all the topics and all the basic questions and medium questions as well. Obviously, to get to the hard level, it might take some more time, but obviously you can master DSA. You can follow any roadmap you will find in the link. Also, you can take any course if you don't know how to start DSA. Coding Ninja's DSS course is very good. I took that myself, and I can definitely say that my placement go heads off to Coding Ninjas. It was a very great course, and I got placed just because of that course I did, and I did it in less than 2 months, but I did it very greatly. You all can do that. Just go for DSA. You can learn it. Yeah. Environmental first year from DTU. Can I go to SD roles in B.Tech companies and then started coding? If you are in first year, you are very early. You can easily do all these things. Just be consistent enough. If you are not consistent enough, obviously you'll face a lot of problems and you'll not be able to learn or adapt to a different level. Just learn new things every day, practice these things. Or and also that many people you know don't bother much is the revision part. revise the topics as well. It will greatly help you. You can easily do this. भैया मेरा 3 ईयर का गैप है, मेरा प्लेसमेंट हो पाएगा या नहीं? ऑब्वियसली शिवेंद्र, आपका प्लेसमेंट बहुत आराम से हो जाएगा, बट आपको, you should be able to justify that 3 year gap. Just don't say that, I was just wasting time around, I was just sitting at home. Be prepared to answer questions around that 3 year gap. First, obviously, master some skills. Ob- Then only you can apply. You can master in coding, you can master in development, and in both as well. Then apply for the companies, but be prepared to, justify that three year gap. You can say that, I was taking tuitions, I was giving tuitions, I was, involved in this part, anything productive. It should not be like that you are not doing anything in that 3 year gap. Yeah, okay, bye, please fast forward. Sure. Advertisement, I want to switch from banking and finance sector to IT sector. Is it possible? Obviously, the situation that is around, in which we are around right now after the pandemic part, there is a huge vacancies gap. If you are skilled enough, obviously, if uh, you can get into fresher level, right? It doesn't matter. You will you will get into IT sector. It will be very great. Then you can grow as well. You just have to learn. You should be willing to learn all the topics. You can easily get. Also, if even you are even if you are not into, get into companies, then you can do freelancing work as well. Freelancing work pays you very well. Sorry. It pays you very well. You can apply, you can do freelancing work as well, if when you have mastered some skills. So go for it. You can easily do it. Is it okay to take a break of 3-4 months to prepare? Currently in service based company with 1 year experience. Supratap, I am also in a similar situation like you. I am also working in TCS a digital role, and also I want to get into big product-based companies as well. I am also preparing for it. If you think that you don't have enough time to prepare for your journey, then you can take a break. But these 3-4 months, you should be motivated enough to take a break. You should be confident enough that, I can do this. Then go for it. Otherwise, if you can, you know if you think you can put a, little bit extra effort, like on the weekends or every day before work, just, if you are given 2 hours before work and 1 hour after work, it is more than enough. You can easily learn all these things. Obviously, it might take a bit longer. It might take 6 months, a year as well, but you won't have to be unemployed, right? And it is a huge pressure when you are unemployed. So just think about for a second, and it is okay to take a break, obviously, because there is a huge vacancies in demand. But be consistent enough and be motivated enough. I'm in second year looking for internship this season, currently specialized at code forces and doing lead code frequently. You are doing very great. If you're second year, in second year you are well ahead of your peers. Obviously, you can start looking for internships. You can search on internshala, you can search on LinkedIn, and also you can just apply for the startups and or the big product based companies, obviously. So these things will help you a lot. You can obviously do it. Just keep doing all these things. Just keep giving contests, just keep solving questions, just keep learning new things. But what to do in dev part and up to how much extent? See, when I'm talking about development part, you can go for development, web development. But there is so much new things to learn. Obviously, you can't learn, because we know when I am writing HTML code, I don't have to, by heart all the things. I know if I want to add this property, I can just Google that property and add it into my project. Just make a project around that. But then when you have made a good project, when you have, added many of the things in that project, then you should know what all the things you have used in that project and be prepared to answer the questions all around it. That's what I mean. Make a project, and just learn all the things around that project. Because obviously, if you just keep on learning, obviously it will not be ever enough. There are unlimited number of things to learn. Make a, Start making a project after you are fluent enough in some technology. But yeah, I saw two questions in COVID around 1 minute, two still, but still not got any call from TCS. Can you tell me reason? I am in third year. You are in third year. You will get time. There will be NQT. There will be Code Vita again. You will get plenty of opportunity. Just keep on applying to TCS. Generally, TCS has a, it's, for me it's not a very good thing to say, but their platform sucks. Obviously, it it is not a very good platform to take, you know coding questions, because they stuck a lot. Sometimes it don't get submitted. So these things happen a lot in the background, that which you won't know. And sometimes they don't even send mail. So these are some of the bad things when we are talking about the recruitment process of TCS. But obviously there are huge number of recruitment processes. You will be able to give huge number of paper. So be prepared for it. You'll be having another opportunity. Just now I'll be just you can write down your questions, and just let me share some few things that I have to share. Then I'll be taking your questions again. Now we have talked about the recruitment process. Now the learning part. How should you even learn, or how should you even prepare for, when you're starting thinking to apply or to get into startups? First, if you don't know anything, I am assuming that you don't know anything. You could be at any level in this learning path. Just wait for it. Suppose you don't know anything, then I have write down the basic points. Start with a language. Start learning a language, which means basically three languages: C++, Java, and Python. These things, three languages are great in demand, and most of the coding questions are around these languages only. So you can give little bit time to all of them. If you are, if you're not able to choose a language, and just when you have given some a week to all of these languages, or 3 to 4 days, then you will be having idea in which language you want to move forward. Learn learn basic things in these languages. Now after you have learned the basic language like if else or the for loops, and all type of loops and the basic functions, then start learning DSA, data structures and algorithm. It is a very important part in your journey. For this, there is a, roadmap available in the link as well. You can go check that out. Also, you can take any course. I'll suggest coding India's course. It is very great. I have done that myself. It is, you can easily go for it blindly. It will not disappoint you. Start learning DSA. Cover that. Also, when you are covering DSA, learning DSA, just keep on practicing questions on that particular topic as well. It will greatly help you. Now I am assuming that you have completed DSA. Obviously, it will take some time, 2 to 3 months to master DSA, or to get to the medium level at least. Now comes the competitive programming part. It will give a huge boost to your resume, to your confidence. And many of the coding questions, uh, if you have done competitive programming, you'll find them very easy. So try to give some few months to competitive programming as well. You can give 2 to 3 months to DSS with practice, and 2 to 3 months to competitive programming. So in these 6 months, you'll see a world of change in your coding, in your problem solving skills. So just go with competitive programming. For competitive programming also, you can take any course. There are some few lectures available on YouTube as well. You can, if you think you can do that from there, you can go for it. Otherwise, you can take course of competitive programming as well. Again, I have taken competitive programming course from coding ninjas, you can go for it. It's very great. Now the thing comes is practice. Just doing courses is not enough. Obviously, you will be solving questions in that course, but those questions only are not enough. You have to practice, and for practice, you can do practice on any platforms like CodeChef, Code Nation, Code Forces, Code Studio, very great platform, Lead Code. So many platforms available. It's just about your will to practice these questions. Just solving questions, start giving contests, and when you are solving those questions, when you are able to solve those questions, you'll feel great, right? When we are able to do questions, you'll get addicted to solving contests. So start giving contests. Initially it will be hard. Just keep on learning new things. If you are not able to do a certain question, just you know don't skip that question. See how we can do that question, see the editorial, see the discussions, see the hint to solve that question. And even after all these things, if you're not able to do that question, see the solution. Just think about that solution and write down the code on your own again. Just don't skip that question if you're not able to do a particular question. Practice a lot, obviously. Now now comes to one extra skill, web or app development, right? When you have mastered DSA and you are doing competitive programming, so obviously you will be not doing competitive programming whole day. You can give 2 to 3 hours to competitive programming and 2 to 3 hours to web development as well. It is more than enough. 5 6 hours is more than enough. Just you know it's about regularity. You can learning web development and competitive programming side by side also. Now when you are doing these things, you will be able to cover the web development also, and you will be able to make a project on that technology as well. So you will be preparing side by side, with competitive programming and your project as well. It will greatly help you. You'll see the result, at the end of 6 months or 9 months or even a year. It will be very great. Just keep doing that. Now when I say project, I have talked about it also, that try to deploy it also. Because when you have just made a project and not deployed enough, then the interviewer might think that you have not handled enough edge cases or corner cases. So when you deploy it, they know that you might, you know आपने बहुत सारी difficulties face करी होंगी to get it deployed. So it will be a huge positive point for you. Try to deploy or make it live, your project. So these were some of the learning paths that you should follow. Just keep practicing. Just be consistent. That all that matters. And now in the last, I'll be giving you some few tips that you should always keep in mind in this journey, into 6 to 9 months journey. Just keep all these things in mind. First, give mock interviews, before your actual interviews, because when we give mock interviews, we get plenty of knowledge. We get reality check of where we are even standing. They might even ask a basic question. If you don't know that, you will get a reality check, right? You will go back and read all the basic things about it. So these things helps a lot. And also, they'll also make you comfortable with giving interviews. They'll increase your confidence. So please give mock interviews. Don't just ignore them. Many people ignore them or take it for granted. Please give mock interviews. You can ask your friend or your colleagues, or or your seniors, or anybody on LinkedIn as well, if they are placed in that company in which you are trying to apply. Then you can go and ask them for mock interviews. Obviously many people will help you out. So try to do that. As I told you, that practice regularly. If you're not practicing regularly, obviously it will be all for nothing. You won't have anything to show. Just be consistent enough, because you will forget things. It's just a matter of time. If you're practicing enough, then it will be very good. Now the third point is work on your communication. As I told you, that communication is a very great big part. If you're giving technical interview, if you are giving HR interview, and they ask you a question, and you know the answer to that question, but you are not great at communication, how will you convey your thoughts or your solution to them? Right? It's a huge problem. You know the answer, still you are not able to give them the answer. That's why work on your communication. Now, for communication, you don't have to pick out any course. Just try to speak calmly, clearly, and try to speak it more in English. It will greatly help you. Obviously, in starting, people will make a lot of fun of you, but after some time, eventually you'll get better at it. Just work on your communication. It will greatly help you. Now, the fourth point that I didn't know, it's to make notes. Now, when you are seeing the lectures and you have done a question on that lecture, obviously you will think that I know this thing. I won't have to write this down. But believe me, you will forget these things. Please make notes. If you have uh, done a unique solution to a coding problem, write that down. If you don't know a solution of a coding problem, write that down, because unique things obviously will help you in device, even if you have done that by yourself. And obviously when you have not done a solution, and you think after reading the solution, now I'll remember, obviously you will forget the solution. You will forget the solution after a few days. That's why make notes and just keeps on revising them, because obviously you will forget these things. And 6 to 9 months is a long journey, right? Some days you will not feel learning new things, and on that day, you can revise your notes. It will be very productive. So these things help you a lot. Even when you are traveling, if you are in the train, in the bus, in the car, you can just keep on revising your notes. It will be a very great time pass. So make notes, please make notes. It will greatly help you. Now, the next point is keep on applying. As I told you, that employee count in startups is very less. So they generally don't hire, frequently. So just keep on applying, so that when there is some vacancies, they should have your application with them. That's why just keep on applying. Be consistent enough. Just don't apply to one company. Apply to many of the companies, most of the startups, and obviously they all have same recruitment process, learning process, and all these things will be quite similar in all these companies. So just keep on applying, and it will come through. Now the last point is work on puzzles and aptitude. As I told you that in technical interview as well, they'll they can ask you puzzles. So just try solving puzzles few days before, or few months before. In your free time, start solving puzzles, because it will greatly help you in boosting your problem solving skills. Also, they'll help you in your interview rounds as well. And just be consistent enough with aptitude as well. Aptitude will not be very hard, it will be very easy, like 10th maths. But the question concept will be till 10th maths, but the question level will be a bit higher. You can easily do all these things. It's just about practice. Just practice some questions on aptitude, a week. Just give one day a week, 1 hour to aptitude as well. You'll be prepared very well for your rounds. So these were some of the basic parts or the basic things that you should keep in mind when you are learning. I am hoping that these things will help you in some way or the other. So now let's take some questions. Okay, I have done this. How much time should one give to one data structure in order to move to next data structure? First of all, don't give too much time to one data structure. When, or to any coding problem as well. I didn't mention it earlier. When you're solving a coding question, right, and it's been 30 minutes, 1 hour, and you are just even thinking it, Obviously the solution, if the solution wa- अगर आना होता तो आ जाता. If even after this time you are not able to think of a solution, then just see the hints and the solution. It will save a lot of time, because time is of the essence. You should able to handle time. Now when you talk about data structure, there is not a hard and fast rule. So just give more time to important data structures like graphs and trees, DP. When you are learning DP, just give more time to them. Now when you are learning stacks and queues only, don't give so much time in those only, because you will be using those data structures into bigger data structures. As I told you, when we'll be solving queues and trees and graphs questions, you will be using stacks and queues in those questions, right? So you don't have to practice so much questions in stacks and queues. Just learn that data structure thoroughly. Do 5 to 10 questions and then move on to the next data structure. Now when you have covered all the data structure, then it's all about practice. You can practice randomly, you can practice in contests as well. Just keep on practicing and all your questions will be answered that. But don't waste too much time on one thing. Sir, should we go in and should we go any company with CP? No, obviously you can go in any company without CP as well, right? You can apply for it. But startups require a lot of effort. As I told you, they require talented people. They don't just want front end developer or the back end developer. They want full stack developer, right? Because employee count is less. That's why you should do competitive programming as well, because it will greatly help you and do the web development after that. But at least do data structures and algorithm very greatly. It is non-negotiable. Competitive programming is, we can negotiate on that a little bit, but not on development part and not on data structure part. Be prepared around it. What do we do in first year to crack product based company? First of all, if you are in first year, Kapil, enjoy your college as well. You will have plenty of opportunity to apply to them and you have plenty of time to prepare for them. Also, just enjoy your college as well. Now when you are talking about big product based companies, just keep on learning data structure, practice coding problems and development. Obviously all these things are common. Maybe they will not ask development that much. If you have interest, then you can go for it. Just take some course, start learning new things and just keep on practicing. You are in first year, you have plenty of time. Just be regular and this will be very more than enough for you. One should in data center to move to how much question. As I told you, if you are learning some weak data set like queues and stacks and queues, 5 to 10 questions on each thing is more than enough. But when you are obviously doing graphs and trees, then try to do as many questions as possible, because generally in the interview and in the coding rounds the problems are around these topics only. Thanks for valuable suggestion. Thank you. If I continue third year starting, I am learning Python for my placement. I have a doubt that I can code in Python in company exam. Okay, yes. You might have also heard that some companies don't allow Python, right? But this is not the usual case. Most of the companies will allow Python. Obviously, don't worry about it. Most of the great companies will allow Python. Just keep on practicing these things. Python is a great language and it has a vast scope in front of you. Just go for it. Even if one or two company does is not allowing them, it you don't have to stop in that, because many of generally most of the companies are allowing you, right? So you can go for it. Continue learning. Yeah, I'm in 12th and preparing for Z, but I am also learning programming languages. How do I manage both? That's a very tricky question. Uh, you know, if you are in 12th and for programming, you will have plenty of time in your degree as well. Prepare for Z now. You don't have to go into programming that much right now, because if you are doing any degree, I am not saying IIT, you can just do BSc or B.Tech from any college, you will get plenty of time to learn coding languages. You will at least have 3 to 4 years, right? So now, for now, just prepare for Z. I'm not able to do DSA and don't want to do maths and physics. And these first year subjects, is there anything like that? Obviously, you will have to pass your college, right? Just uh, keep grilling around that. Obviously, in starting, it will be difficult. Sorry, this it will be difficult. But if you are giving enough time to certain topics, which seem difficult, eventually you will be able to master them. There is no way around the subjects really. You'll have to pass them, right? But when you are okay, you are able to DSA. Yes, yes. If you are able to DSA, that's very great. But obviously, you'll have to pass your degree, right? You have to earn that. There is no way around that. Just ask your friends. When I was in college, you know मैं कॉलेज नहीं जाता था. मेरे समझ नहीं आता था कि वो क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं. So I used to talk to my friends, and you will find great people in your college who can help you in in learning some basic things. Just learn important things in every subject, and you will easily clear those subjects. Ask your friends. uh, you know See YouTube lectures. There are so many amazing YouTube lectures of Sanchit Jain. If you are from CS branch, you will see Sanchit Jain in most of the subjects. He is great. Can I choose JavaScript to solve? Uh, okay, you can choose JavaScript, but most of the companies don't even will not allow JavaScript in the coding rounds. You will find C++, Java, and Python mostly. That's why you should also learn a new language as well. You know JavaScript, that's very great, but try to learn new things, because in coding rounds you won't find JavaScript very much. Right now I'm studying BSA last year, even if I right now studying BSA last year. If I join startup company or MCA, okay, you can do these things side by side. Okay, if you don't want a gap year in your resume, you can go for MCA, and you can just keep on applying to startup companies as well. So just try to manage your time and just try to justify your gap if if you don't go into MCA. So just be prepared for it. Just think about it. With MCA also, you can prepare for startup companies. You will get plenty of time. Sir, I am in third year starting DSA and can solve some easy problems and easy and medium problems. I am also overwhelmed by many people who can. Yes, 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 yes. Surya, these are some of the basic things that Oh, in these matters, only you have to motivate yourself. Everybody has a different brain, different learning path. I take time to learn new things. Many people learn new things like that. It's very easy to them. So don't compare yourself with them. As I am telling you, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. You don't have to be good at in 1 month or 2 months only. Just be prepared to give time to these things. Don't bother much. If you are just have a strategy or you know roadmap to where you want to go, just stick to it. Don't compare yourself to others. You will also be able to solve these questions eventually. You don't know about them, when they started, how much time they gave. So it's just a one sided story. Just keep working on yourself and just keep motivating yourself that what I am learning enough and I am consistent enough. Only these things matter. Distance learning is worth or not? Yes, distance learning is worth, Rajveer, but I am only 13 years old. Okay, enjoy your childhood. Sir, now I'm in first year, just learn C++, basics and hoops. Should I start DSA or what to do? You are in first year, you have covered C++ and hoops. Yes, you can start with DSA. It will be very great. You have plenty of time. But Nazim, also enjoy your college life as well. Because most of the things that you learn in your college life will not be in front of the laptop. So explore uh, as well, because it will greatly help you in developing your personality, because personality matters when you are applying for the interview as well. So be try to explore your college as well. You can uh, you know just go for DSA, it will be very great for you. You can take coding just DSA course, it's very great. Yes, Rajveer, we know that you are 13 years old. Okay, I am in final year of DSA, and right now I'm learning DSA. How can I get into startup? No, all today's live stream was about this only. Dilip, just watch all these things that how you can get into startups. You will find your questions answered. Will front end be replaced by AI in few coming years, Priyanka? It's a difficult question. I'm not sure that if I am the right person to tell you if this will be replaced or not. So I don't think anything is going to be replaced soon in the coming years. Any technology, you can learn any technology and you'll be great in that, because there is a huge vacancies in every IT industry, in every technology. Just keep on learning. DSA hard Q. But uh, Anakin, DSA is hard. Now, why is it hard? It's a matter of perspective, because some people find it very easy. It's about how much time you are giving to DSA. If you have given enough time to DSA, if you have practiced enough problems, you will also love DSA. You will also, telling other people that start learning DSA. It is very easy. But initially, you know, nothing is easy. When you started learning the alphabets, also, right? And you were in nursery A, B, C, D, right? It was difficult then, but now it is very easy. So it's just about how much time you are given. Future of blockchain development? No, I'm not the right person to answer this question. Do companies like Amazon, Microsoft hire for front end developer? Yes, these companies hire, but generally they hire for SDE roles, mostly. But yes, they also hire front end developer. You can go for it, but do coding as well, so that it will increase your chances to go into these companies. To manage time for learning DSA and also learning development. I also have exams, offline classes exams. Hi Surya, you know, managing time is very important. As I told you, you can clear exams. Exams don't take much time, but when you are learning DSA, give those 2 to 3 months to DSA only. Don't do development. If you are, you know, you can just focus on DSA. Now, when you have completed DSA in 2 months, then you can start with competitive programming and web development side by side. In web development, first you should learn new technology, or even decide in which field you want to go. App development, web development, front end, back end, and just after learning things, just make a project around it. When you are learning competitive programming and development side by side, even if you're giving 2 hours to each of them, it is more than enough. You'll be able to cover all those things. Just try to manage these things. But when you're learning DSA, just cover DSA for once, and then just practice problems on those topics. Coding this competitive course is better or not? Yes, it is better. You can go for it. How much DSA is required for front end developer? Okay, how much DSA? See, if you are going into a good company, you will find coding rounds. You have to first pass those rounds to get into the you know interview, to get to the interview. So your DSA level should be good. Even if your competitive programming language level is not that good, but DSL should be good. Lead code is necessary for solving problems. I hope you are asking me, not telling me. Yes, it is necessary. Not necessary. You will find those questions in other platforms as well. You can practice from any of the platforms. Yes, but lead code is in fashion in these days, and it has a very good amount of questions and very quality questions. Then you can easily do lead code and code studio. You just check out coding just code studio. It is very great. You love this. हेलो भैया, is it difficult to get jobs in CS fields अगर हम आई IIT CS ब्रांच से नहीं कर पाए? नहीं, कोई कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Even if you are from core branches and you are not from CS branch, you can easily get into big product based companies as well. It is not a roadblock. Which languages should I choose to be a software developer? If you are asking about the coding, in which language should I do coding, there are three languages majorly: C++, Java, and Python. C++ is fastest. That's why many people go for that. When they are preparing for their coding rounds, because there is a time constraint, right? But Java and Python are also great. You can choose any three of them. In one day, how many hours we give into DSA? It depends upon you. But when I was learning DSA, I completed that course in obviously in less than 2 months, around 1 month and 10 days around. I gave around 6 to 7 hours every day, and I was able to complete the coding ninjas course, and it gave a huge boost to my confidence. So you can try that. So thank you, sir. And JavaScript and Python, JavaScript, basic HTML. Yes, uh, you know the basic things. You can just practice these things and master upon these. Just keep practicing Python questions or DSA in Python, competitive programming in Python. Just learning JavaScript, HTML, front end development mostly or backend. You can go any of them or both of them as well. What will be good like? DSA is must. Web development is your extra skill, but DSA is must because they'll ask web development or projects in the interview. But to reach the interview, you'll have to pass coding rounds, and for passing coding rounds, you have to master DSA. It's not negotiable. CS is very hard. I can't learn it. Maybe you are not following the right path, Raj. Just take a course if you are, if you're not that comfortable. When you're taking a course, you get a guided path that you have to first learn this, then this, then this. Then you will find many questions as well in that you can solve and gain confidence. So you can try taking a course and just stick to it. Yeah, how many questions to do in DSA to get referral? Okay, how many questions? It some people will give you referral, without asking much. There is not a hard and fast rule that you have to do this many questions. It depends upon you. You have to make a resume around it as well, right? That I am this much star in this platform. That for that, how, जितने भी क्वेश्चन करने की नीड है उतने क्वेश्चंस करो. Which language is best for DSA? C++, Java, and Python. I prefer C++. You can go for C++. For representation, I'm looking for GPUs. It can out Ninja DSA map. That be sufficient. Oh no, DS coding Ninja's DSA course is very great. Just go for it blindly. It is very great. Go for it, bro. Please help. Uh, we are not talking about the approaches here, Ansh, but the basic approach is read about the discussions, see the hint, think about that, see the solutions, and just try to make a approach around that solution. When is CP this important? Like you are focusing on it. Priyanshu, uh, yes, CP is obviously important because it helps you in getting optimized. DSA is important, right? You all know this. CP is sometimes negotiable because people are able to do difficult questions by learning DSA only. But competitive programming also helps you. If you have time, if you have will to learn, go for competitive programming. It will greatly help you. And it tips on how many projects is ideal for freshers. Uh, just make if you have one good project, that is more than enough. And when you learn, yes, it is enough for now. Jackson, just start, just cover DSA and practice a minimum to become perfect in DSA. No amount. Uh, there is not a hard and fast rule. Just keep on practicing the questions until you get placed, until you get your company. Getting system design interviews. How do you prepare DSA and system design simultaneously? अभिषेक सिस्टम डिज़ाइन के क्वेश्चन किसी और दिन, सॉरी ब्रो, बट सिस्टम डिज़ाइन में अगर आपके पास फ्री रिसोर्सेज भी अवेलेबल है, आप वहाँ से पढ़ सकते हो, यूट्यूब से पढ़ सकते हो, अदरवाइज इसके कोर्सेज भी आते हैं, आप कोर्सेज भी ले सकते हो अगर आपके समझ में नहीं आ रही चीज़। डीएसए क्या होता है अंश? डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड एल्गोरिथम। यार अभी मेरा 12th कंप्लीट हो चुका है और समझ नहीं आ रहा है कोडिंग कहाँ से स्टार्ट करें। अगर आपका 12th कंप्लीट हुआ है, जस्ट गेट इनटू अ डिग्री एंड यू कैन जस्ट start learning any basic language, C++, Java and Python. उसके बाद start learning DSA and then you can go from there. But this should be your starting. Bro, I am in third year. I start C++. No, you are not even late. Many people start competitive programming after they graduate. You are not late. You have plenty of time. Hey, what are you doing, like a student or a job? I am currently working in TCS at a digital role. You actually facing problem because what to do. Practice, practice, practice. There is no, but when you are practicing, right? But if you're not able to do questions, give time to that question. That why were you not able to this question to do this question? Just think about that approach, the solution. अगर आपको कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं हुआ, आपने उसका सोल्यूशन देखा, राइट? अब उस सोल्यूशन को सोचो कि इन्होंने सोल्यूशन बनाया कैसे, ऐसा क्यों सोचा, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? क्योंकि सबके है ना आसपास ही वो अप्रोच घूमती रहती है, एकदम से कोई बहुत अलग अप्रोच नहीं निकल जाएगी। Approaches are limited, so just try to get resist of that approach. I am from tier 3 college. Should I strongly focus on computer or should I do some competitive program? Just do those side by side, do competitive programming and projects as well. I mean, both will be good. Yes, they will make a profile much better. Go for both of them. Thank you so much. Will you please give roadmap to start competitive programming? Yes, Priyanshu. Maybe you will find roadmap in the links of Coding Ninjas. Otherwise, we will provide you with it. Tell me a free course for web development. I am not the best person to answer this question, Raj. I'm worried that I will feel nervous while giving an interview. What? Give mock interview. That's why. Mock interviews help very greatly in this manner. Give mock interviews. What is the salary range that freshers can get in these companies? At least in double digits. Can you suggest me frequently asked questions in spam? No, we are talking about today's startups. Bro, I don't explain as well as I know what to do. Again, think again. It is also about practice. Suppose you want to uh, अपना सोल्यूशन आप अपने छोटे भाई को बताना चाहते हो, राइट? छोटे बहन को बताना चाहते हो. Now think what you will tell them in layman terms, in the simple terms. How will I tell them my approach? Just think about that. You don't have to actually tell them, just think about that. And you should also see, like, if I don't know the solution and I want someone to explain this solution to me, how would I want someone to explain this solution to me? Just think about that and you will be able to answer your own questions. Web development or Android development, it is about your preference. So this is all for today. I hope you all like this video, and I hope this will help you in some way. Also, you can follow me on LinkedIn. My name is Vikrant Verma. You can search for it on LinkedIn, you will find me. Please also subscribe to Coding Ninja's YouTube channel and do like this video now. Right now, do like this video, and I'll be taking, my voice is not that great today. I'll be taking all of your questions in the next session. I hope that you get your dream company. All the best to you, and just keep grinding, keep practicing, and subscribe to Coding Ninja's YouTube channel and press the bell icon. Bye guys.